Maybe you noticed, or maybe you didn't notice, I did not put out a video last week. I didn't do a long form content video. I didn't do any short form content videos. Actually, I think I posted one, but I had made it the week before. But why did I take another week off of social media? You guys, I got sick. I was really sick. So today I am going to talk about how to get over the common cold, whether you get it in the dead of winter or in the middle of summer. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. Let's talk fighting off a cold. Boom. It started off as the usual, a little bit of a sore throat, and then felt a little achy, was really stuffed up, and I was just wiped out. Just energy was super low. It eventually turned into a little bit of a cough, and you probably hear that I'm still a little nasally now, but so I didn't do any workouts. I just started working out again really lightly, and we'll talk about more about when to decide if it's time to work out or if it's time to rest in a little bit. But I'm back, I'm feeling much better, and let's talk about how you can get rid of the common cold faster. Or maybe not get rid of it faster, but help yourself feel better faster. And some of these things are things that your mama taught you that still stand true today. And some of the things we were taught when we were younger just do not hold true. Like starve a cold, that has totally been debunked. Did you know that getting a cold has absolutely nothing to do with temperature? Oh, something exciting is going on down there. And I am a walking example to prove it, because it is the middle of summer and here I am just getting over a summer cold. It's a viral infection, period. But before we start and I go into the 12 reasons to help fight off a cold or get rid of your cold faster, let me start by saying I am not a doctor. My degree's in exercise physiology, and I'm in a program for my master's degree in health sciences and nutrition. So if you are under the weather, always a good idea to check with your doctor first. Make sure it's nothing serious. But if it is just a common cold, I am going to give you some ways to kick that cold to the curb. But you gotta know, there is no cure for the common cold. Listen to this. 200 viruses are responsible for the 1 billion colds that Americans get each year. 1 billion. So even though I felt really alone last week, I'm sure there were a lot of other people walking around with summer colds. Hopefully not walking too much, just getting their rest. Because colds are viruses, something like an antibiotic is not going to help, because an antibiotic is prescribed for a bacterial infection. So most people like me just try to ride out the common cold and hope that it's gone in a week or so. So it is true, you do have to just let a virus run its course, but the 12 tips I'm going to give you today may help your cold run its course a little bit faster. But maybe not, but they're all safe and worth a shot. Let's start with vitamin C. My mom called me at the beginning of my cold and I was telling her about it, and she said, oh, make sure you're drinking your orange juice. And I said, Mom, I don't even keep orange juice in the house anymore. It is just loaded with sugar, and there are plenty of other ways to get your vitamin C. Before we go into too much on vitamin C, let me just start by saying that there is really only a small bit of evidence that suggests that vitamin C helps with a common cold. What I should really say is vitamin C doesn't help prevent a cold. I know lots of people take extra vitamin C before they're taking a flight. I am someone who does this, but it's really not going to make a difference. If you're going to catch the virus, you're going to catch this virus, whether you have plenty of vitamin C or not. But what vitamin C has shown to do is reduce the number of days that people experience cold symptoms by 8 to 9%. So not a huge number, but still worth giving it a shot. Experts recommend 100 to 500 milligrams per day. All right, number 2, let's talk about zinc. This was a pretty cool study that showed that people who sucked on zinc lozenges that contained 13.3 milligrams of zinc experienced a significant decrease in the duration of their cold and their cold symptoms compared to a placebo group. And this was a study done through the National Institute of Health. I didn't take zinc this time, but I have taken zinc at the onset of a cold, and it really has helped me with the symptoms in the past. It might not help everybody out there, but again, worth giving it a shot. But really make sure to check the label on the zinc before you take it as well. Taking more than 40 milligrams a day can cause nausea, dizziness, and vomiting. And I have experienced the nausea before when taking zinc, so I always make sure that I don't take it on an empty stomach. But hey, that's just me. But it might be you too, so be careful. But here's something to definitely take note of. You do not want to take your vitamin C and your zinc at the same time. Nope, no one ever told you that, did they? But it's true. If you take them at the same time, they will bind together and make the zinc less effective. What you want to do is take the vitamin C first and then wait at least a half hour before taking the zinc. Okay, number 3, I mentioned briefly earlier, that old myth of starving a cold. Well, what you want to make sure you do is feed a cold. This was kind of difficult for me last week because there were days where I just didn't feel like eating, but I made sure to have a well-balanced breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack, even though I didn't really want it. And one thing that's pretty interesting is that people who eat a well-balanced breakfast tend to have less colds than people who skip breakfast altogether or eat something that's not so healthy. And maybe that's just due to the fact that having a healthy, well-balanced breakfast is just a great marker for someone with a healthy lifestyle. A great simple breakfast to make when you are fighting a cold that doesn't take very long is scrambling up 2 eggs because they have the zinc, a half a cup of sliced mushrooms because they are immunity boosters, and then add a side of spicy salsa to go with it because that will definitely help ease any sort of congestion you might have. Some of the best foods that you can be eating when you do have a cold are just lots and lots of fruits and vegetables and staying away or at least limiting the amount of dairy. Another vitamin that has been shown to be really beneficial in helping to fight off a cold is vitamin E. So reach for things like almonds, hazelnuts, peanuts, and wheat germ to get that extra boost of vitamin E. Studies have shown that popping a supplement like vitamin E may not help shorten the duration of your cold, but may help with you getting less colds. Right now, I am going to state the obvious, but a lot of people don't listen to this because they think, oh, it's just a cold, I can still do everything. But number 4 is to take it easy. I am a total homebody and a lady of leisure, so this was no issue for me. I made sure to take it easy. Extra rest enables your body to put the energy towards getting better. It can also help you avoid getting sicker and your cold turning into something like bronchitis or pneumonia. And listen, you do not want either. I have had pneumonia and I've never been so sick in my life. I will talk about that in a future video. If you go into an office, take some time away from the office. Your coworkers will thank you for it. Nobody wants someone who's coughing and sneezing and with a runny nose hanging out around them. And if you just have to work, just skip some of the daily activities that you actually don't need to do and try to at least work from home. I am so guilty of this because I have such a good routine that I like to stick to when it comes to my health and fitness, but you've got to give yourself some grace and take it easy when you're under the weather. Do not try to keep up with your regular routine. That will just be too draining on your body. And maybe you didn't know this, but when you are under the weather, your concentration is down, so your regular activities or your workload can take you twice as long to get through. So if you can, just skip them all together. And I probably don't need to say this, but when you're sick, parties and gatherings and fun times can really take a toll on your immune system. And that could cause the cold to linger even longer. So stay home, snuggle up, don't have FOMO, have JOMO. That's the joy of missing out. Did you know that? You knew that. Okay, number 5 is layer up. I mentioned that it's summertime right now where I am, and there's not really any need to layer up when I go outside. But this morning when I went for my early morning walk, I made sure to have a sweatshirt in my backpack because I'm still fighting this cold a little bit and I wouldn't want it to come back in full force. So I had a sweatshirt with me just to keep me warm in case I got a little chilled. But since many times the common cold happens in the winter, it's just really important to bundle up. I mentioned earlier that the temperature is not what causes a cold because it can be freezing outside and you can stay healthy. But if you already have a cold, you really want to make sure you stay bundled up when you go outside. And why is that? Well, this is because this will keep your immune system focused on fighting off the cold, instead of displacing energy to protect you from a chilly temperature. Okay, so I mentioned layering up, and if you're layering up, that would mean you're doing number 6. I think number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, number 6. And that is take a walk. Now I get it. The first couple days of a cold, you might not want to do anything. But if you have a little one like this over here, you got to go out for a walk. Fiona's got to go out. We go out a few times a day. So even though I was under the weather and I didn't really want to go, I did go for, a few small walks throughout the day. And when I say small, I mean small, maybe 5-10 minutes max of my walk. But you might be wondering, shouldn't I just be getting some rest? But actually, a little bit of movement is not a bad thing. Mild exercise, and I mean mild exercise, helps improve circulation. And this helps your immune system circulate infection-fighting antibodies. So you can either just do some light movement inside, or you can go outside and take a little walk. But what you definitely want to avoid is strenuous exercise. Number 7, this is an easy one to do, and you should be doing this every day, but load up on liquids. But when you have a cold, you should be consuming even more liquids than on a normal day-to-day basis. Mostly clear liquids are going to be your best bet. So just water. You could even add some electrolytes to that. My favorite is Element, and tea. I drink usually just water and tea and some electrolytes when I have a cold. I mean, that's basically what I drink on a regular day anyway. But yeah, when you have a cold, you want to drink even more. And the reason is because you want to replace the fluids that are lost during your cold and help flush out impurities that may be in your body. Number 8, take an antihistamine. An antihistamine blocks your body from releasing histamine. And that's a chemical that causes the watery eyes, the runny nose, and the sneezing. But just be aware that most antihistamines do make you sleepy. So it's something that you would want to take in the evening. Or you could take it during the day if you know you're just going to be at home and you want to take a little nap. But definitely don't take one when you have to be driving or have any sort of fast reaction time. Okay, number 9, unstuff with a decongestant. Like with any sort of medication, even an over-the-counter medication like a decongestant, you want to talk to your doctor first before taking it, because a decongestant does not interact with all medications well. And maybe all you need is a simple decongestant in the form of a nasal spray. Those can definitely help. However, you definitely do not want to be using them for longer than 3 days. And why is that? Because using them too much can actually cause a little bit of what would be known as a rebound effect, meaning your nose could become even more congested, leading to you needing even more medication or something even stronger. Okay, number 10, my mom used to tell me to do this when I had a sore throat, but it actually works, and that is gargle with salt water. So this is particularly helpful with a sore throat. And you can do this morning, noon, night, whenever your throat is feeling sore. And I'm not exactly sure why this works, but the salt water will definitely help soothe a sore throat. Okay, I mentioned drinking your liquids, and I specifically said water, electrolytes, and tea, whether that's cold tea or hot tea, but let's specifically talk about drinking hot tea. This is number 11. I've got mine right here. And besides just helping your throat feel better, just the warm liquids feel really, really good, it can really help with your cold. The hot tea will really help soothe your sore throat. It tastes so good, it feels so good, and it's nice to just drink something warm when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. And tea can also help with you being less congested. So I'll give you a bonus one right now, because remember when your mom would make you chicken soup when you were feeling sick? Well, there was good reason for it, because the warm liquid really does feel good. It doesn't have to be chicken soup, but if you want it to be chicken soup, it can be. So anything hot will help unclog your nasal passages. And this is kind of gross, but studies have shown that it helps increase the flow of nasal mucus. And nasal secretions are the first line of defense when it comes to removing germs from your system. Another thing that can help, whether you're drinking tea or chicken soup, is adding some spice to it, specifically cayenne or chili peppers. This will help unclog those nasal passages as well. Okay, number 12 is to stay positive. I know it can be kind of hard if you're down in the dumps because you're sick and you have to stay in because you don't feel good and you want to get over this cold fast. You know, it's easy to have a little FOMO, fear of missing out, and put you in a little depressed state. I mean, there's definitely some things I missed out on last week that I definitely would have enjoyed. But I tried to stay positive, knowing that I just needed to ride out this cold and wait until I was 100%. And this may seem crazy, but a positive attitude about your body's ability to heal itself can actually mobilize immune system forces. It sounds kind of hokey, but just try it for yourself. Put yourself in a really positive state of mind. Know that this cold is not going to last forever, and your body will fight it and help get it out of your system even faster. It's true. I know you guys out there have more tips for me, and I would love for you to share them with our amazing audience here on YouTube. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of tips and tricks you have to fight off a common cold. All right, that's it. That's the 12. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when my next video drops. My name's Regan. This is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF. I will see you next week.